video, I'm going to show you how you can master the minor pentatonic scale in your soloing. So, lesson overview. First of all, we're going to take a look at how we can create patterns using the minor pentatonic scale. I'm going to show you all kinds of different patterns using odd note groupings and using specific patterns to run up the scale shapes and ascend and create some awesome, really cool licks. From there, I'm going to show you how to use double stops in neo-soul guitar. Obviously, double stops are used quite a lot of the time, so it's a really good idea to know what options are available to you within the pentatonic scale. From there, I'm going to show you what I call the pentatonic linking shapes. These are some shapes that I've come up with that will allow you to seamlessly transition between the shapes of the pentatonic scale. You may find it quite difficult to play between the shapes seamlessly. You might be playing in one shape, then stop playing, and then you move to another shape. Well, these pentatonic linking shapes are going to allow you to travel between the licks really seamlessly. On top of that, these pentatonic linking shapes can be used to create some awesome lead runs, and you'll see how later on. And finally, I'm going to show you how you can use some notes from outside of the scale, some chromatic notes to spice things up and create some really nice sounding licks. I'm David Lovejoy, and my channel is all about helping you create awesome neo-soul, R&B, and other modern sounds on your guitar. If you're new here and that sounds like your kind of thing, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you click the notification bell so that you're notified every single time I release a new video. So let's jump into it. Today we're playing in the key of E minor, so I'm going to show you very quickly the 5 E minor pentatonic scale shapes. Here's shape 1. It can also be played up here as well. Then shape number 2. Shape number 3. Shape number 4. And shape number 5. So the first way we can create licks using the pentatonic scale is to create patterns. So let's take a look in shape number 1 how we can create some patterns. The first pattern that I like to use is the groups of 3. What I like to do is I play 3 notes. You can either ascend or descend, but I'm going to descend. So you play 3 notes, then you descend from the next note down. Then you descend from the next note down again, and again, and again, and again. That's a cool pattern. Maybe you could do groups of 4. So you could do things like that, and you can do it ascending as well. And then here's another one. With the pentatonic scale, we're playing 2 notes per string. So what you could do is you could play the highest 2 notes of the E and B strings, then the lowest 2 notes, and then move to the next string set, B and G, and then G and D, and then D and A, and then A and E, all together. Okay, and you can do this with every single shape. That was shape number 3, for example. So take a listen to a lick that I created, and I used both types of patterns for this lick. So the patterns sound pretty cool, but we can get them sounding even cooler by using odd note groupings. Odd note groupings are basically groupings of notes that go against the rhythm of the song. So for example, if we're playing in triplets, you associate triplets with 3s, but if you play triplets but play groups of 4, that's an odd note grouping. Also, if you're playing 16th notes, you associate it with groups of 4. So if you play a group of 5, for example, that goes against the grain of what you're hearing, and it creates this really cool effect in your lead line. So again, using shape number 1, here's what some groups of 5 would sound like. Alright, so I'm just descending 5 notes at a time and then starting on the next note down. So here's a lick that I created using descending groups of 5. Now the next thing we can do is ascend through the scale shapes using one pattern. Okay, so what we could do is, for example, you'll hear it in the lick that I'm about to play. I play 6 notes per scale shape. So I'm going to start from the top note and just descend 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Then I just do the same thing on the next shape. I just start on the highest note and descend for 6 notes. Then the next shape. Then the next shape. And the next shape. Okay. If you're a neo-soul player, then you might want to try experimenting with different techniques like palm muting and alternate picking together. Okay, and it sounds quite cool. So take a listen to the lick that I created using this technique. Now the next method is to head down to the description and grab a copy of my book Chord Charisma 2.0. If you combine the soloing techniques from today's video with the chord progression techniques and concepts from my book Chord Charisma, it's going to turn you into a next level neo-soul guitar player. So definitely check my book out. I hope you like that seamless transition. That wasn't actually the next method. The next method is double stops. So double stops are where we play 2 notes at a time. It's very frequently used in neo-soul, so it's probably a good idea to know the common shapes so that you can start implementing them in your playing. Here's probably the most common way of playing double stops in the pentatonic scale. So what we do is if we bar the 12th fret of the G and the B strings, and then we can hammer on the 14th fret of the G string while letting the B string still ring out. And then you can choose to maybe keep it there or pull it off again. Okay? And anytime that shape is available to you in any of the 5 pentatonic shapes, then you can do it. So for example, we can play it here in shape 1. We can also play it here in shape 1, just the strings below. And again, if we go down 1 string again, we can play that same double stop. It also appears at the top of shape number 5 and the bottom of shape number 5. Also in shape number 4, we could play it at the 7th fret of the D and G strings. In shape number 3, we could play it on the 5th fret of the A and D strings. And then on the strings below as well, the E and A strings. Also at the top of shape number 2 as well, we could play it. Lots of places you could play that particular double stop. Another cool thing you could do with this particular double stop is hammer on. I'm getting into the last topic a little bit here with some chromatic notes, but it doesn't matter. You hammer on, slide up and down a fret, and then pull off again. Sounds really nice. Okay, so there's that particular double stop. And there's one other type of double stop. Now you can also play this. Okay, so what I'm doing is, again, we've got 2 notes per string, and we're just playing the highest notes of 2 adjacent strings. So 15th fret of the B and E strings, and then 12th fret of the B and E strings. And then you can just do the same for the other strings. Okay, you can also do it in any other shape. So let's take a random shape, shape number 4. You can do it there as well. Take a listen to a lick that I created using both types of double stops. Method number 4 for creating awesome minor pentatonic scale licks is using the linking shapes that I created. So these linking shapes allow you to, as I said earlier, transition between the pentatonic shapes really, really seamlessly. So let's take a look at the first one, and we're going to start on the 3rd fret of the low E string. Okay, so we're playing 3, 5, 7, and then we're playing 5, 7 on the A string. So as you can see, just from playing this, we've moved from shape 2 into shape number 3. Then what we're going to do is we're going to play an octave higher. So we're going to play 5, 7, 9 on the D string, and then 7, 9 on the G string. Notice it's the exact same shape, just an octave higher. And then we're going to do the same thing, 1 octave higher as well, and we're going to play 8, 10, 12 of the B string, and then 10, 12 of the high E string. And if we play these 3 shapes together, we're moving from shape 2 all the way up to shape 1, and we're covering all of the shapes. So now, instead of playing one pentatonic shape, stopping, and then moving to another pentatonic shape, we can use the linking shapes to just seamlessly transition. For example, alright, so I use the pentatonic linking shapes there to move all the way up the fretboard, okay? Another thing you can do is you can create a lick using one of these linking shapes. So for example, there, I played that. If you just play the exact same thing an octave lower, and then the exact same thing an octave lower, you've got a really interesting sounding lead run that covers the space of 3 octaves. Or maybe... So there, you only have to remember one shape really, and you've got 3 octaves worth of lead runs. There's one other pentatonic linking shape I like to use. It starts on shape number 5, and we're playing 10, 12 on the low E string, then 10, 12, 14 on the A string. Now we're going to get into a territory here where we're playing the pentatonic shapes an octave higher, okay? So we're now in shape number 1. Then obviously we just play this linking shape an octave higher. So we're going to play 12, 14 on the D string, and 12, 14, 16 on the B string. On the G string, sorry. And then the same thing starting on the 15th fret of the B string. Okay? So again, you can create a lick using one of these shapes. So let's say I just created that lick just on the spot. Then we can go do the same thing an octave higher, and then the same thing an octave higher. And we've got a 3 octave run. So take a listen to a lick that I created using this particular pentatonic linking shape. Finally, we're going to take a look at using some outside notes to create some cool licks. So let's take a look at the first one. It's the blues note. If you know the blues scale, then you know it. Relative to this E minor pentatonic scale, we're playing a B flat, okay? And the intention with this note is that we're not going to stay on this note. It's a passing note. You want to get on it really quickly and get off it really quickly as well. Let's take a look at shape number 1 of the pentatonic scale with the blues note added. So that's all you need to know really. It's a passing note. You want to get on it, get off it really quickly. And you can hear it just adds that little bit of spice to the pentatonic scale. So here is a lick where I used the blues note in the pentatonic scale a fair bit, and you can hear the effect that it has. Now a really cool sequence of notes I like to use is B all the way up to D, every single note chromatically, okay? So we got 12, 13, 14, 15 on the B string, okay? You can descend it or you can ascend it. And it appears in all of the pentatonic shapes. So we've got 12, 13, 14, 15 of the B string, that's shape 1. Shape 2, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5 of the A string. On shape number 3, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7 on the G string. On shape number 4, we have got 7, 8, 9, 10 on the high E string. And then on shape number 5, we've got 9, 10, 11, 12 on the D string. Okay, I really, really love using this. It just adds a little bit of like personality to your playing. So what I did there, played the notes and then slid into that 12th note, into that 12th fret again on the B string. Descending sounds good. It sounds really good if you do pull-offs like that. Okay, you can create stuff that sounds like that. So take a quick listen to a lick that I created using this sequence of notes. If you've enjoyed what you've learned today, then definitely check this video out, as that will further your knowledge on soloing in the neo-soul genre. And if you want to create jaw-dropping, insane chord progressions, then check out my book, Chord Charisma 2.0. It's the only resource you'll need in 2022 if you're really serious about upping your chord game and taking your chord progressions and songwriting to the next level. If you're not convinced, you can check out the first 2 chapters for free down in the description. Those first 2 chapters are going to show you quite a lot, actually. They're going to show you how to create a basic chord progression with the 7 chords in your key, and then how to make those chords sound more sophisticated and jazzy and extravagant using extensions like 9ths, 11ths, 13ths, and different embellished chords like 6/9 chords, 7th chord, 7 sharp 11s, all these interesting chord names and chord voicings. So definitely check that out. That's completely free, the first 2 chapters. You've got nothing to lose. Now, if you're a beginner in the neo-soul genre and you don't really know where to start, and this lesson was a little bit advanced for you, then check out my Neo Soul for Guitar Beginners course. It's down in the link in the description. It's on Skillshare, so if you sign up, you get a month completely free, which is more than enough time to check out the course. Then you can cancel anytime if you need to. But I don't know why you would, because there's loads and loads of content on Skillshare, so it's a really, really great resource for guitar players. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in another one.